about this? Why don't you guys try this on the surface, but in reality, send some people there and try to win some delegates?
Something. And they're like, no, it's too much money.
I'd be like, dude, just a freaking plane trip. Send them over there.
No, it's wasting money.
I would have been beside myself. But apparently, this was absolutely brilliant, because what else could have possibly been done to make the national polls diverge like that?
And if they sent something, if they sent people there, if they sent a ground troop there, like you were saying before,
just on the underground,
and it failed, knowing that the ground troops were there and it failed, Trump couldn't use the Trump card saying, hey, I didn't know. And everybody's like, yeah, you did. You sent people there.
They canceled it. They're disenfranchising the voters because they canceled the primary. They should have never canceled it.
And technically, I mean, that is true.
That is true. There's
no lie about
that. But they canceled it like almost a year ago. So it's fascinating. Some people listening, especially if you're a Cruz supporter, will probably say, well, we don't like this dishonesty. Why can't but this is a very calculated.
There's no dishonesty when all's fair in love and war, and this is how they're playing the game.
Well, let me tell you about dishonesty. Nobody likes to see Cruz gloat about being the beneficiary of disenfranchised voters.
He doesn't care. He's actually excited about it. He came out and said, I've got the GOP behind me now. He's excited about the GOP. He's excited
about the GOP.
And he threw out Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham. He's like, they're on board. Dude, that's not a positive thing.
Work. I'll tell you what, politically.
Especially Tea Party members, when they hear Mitch McConnell and they hear Lindsey Graham.
Oh, my gosh. Those guys are total liberals.
Why would you brag about those two?
Yeah,
anybody, why would you brag? Just awful. Awful.
I think I'm going to go ahead and endorse Ted Cruz for the nomination for president. I think he's going to win it. He's our man now.
What about Trump? Where does he go?
Well, I don't think that the people want to see Trump elected president or even be our nominee. So as far as I'm concerned, he can go to hell. So, tell us how you really think, Senator Green.
Good times, people. Oh. Wow. So breaking Smith Radio, when you listen to us here, you get the real inside scoop as to what is really going on.
What's really going on is Trump is a freaking genius.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but let me play this sound clip of...
He has won.
I've got this sound clip of Manafort, who's the delegate manager for Trump on MSNBC, and she's putting it to him about these delegates and what's going on, and this kind of leads into Wyoming. So we'll go ahead and play that sound clip right about, any day now.
Wow, you got a lag going on there.
Right there. And you're coming off another tough weekend. Swept in Wyoming by Ted Cruz. He also seemed to pick up some delegates in West Virginia, places like Georgia as well. Are you getting beat on the ground right now?
Well, in fact, he only picked up delegates yesterday in Wyoming, and we didn't even play there because it was a closed system, and we didn't want to.
He's kind of letting the cat out of the bag.
Showed his hand.
Don't show your hand. You got to be outraged.
Yes.
And deal with party bosses. Actually, the dialogue and the narrative of this campaign isn't focusing on the real issue. The real issue is there's not going to be a second ballot. As your colleague just said, there is many paths to 1237 for Donald Trump between now and middle of June, not July. And we are working all of those paths.
But they both include, as he pointed out, wins in Indiana and, of course, big win in California.
Well, not necessarily Indiana. It does include California, but it also includes New Jersey, which is also on the 7th of June, and we're probably going to do very well. The states that we've just finished, this was supposed to be the time when Cruz was ahead. We finished with the South. We finished with the rigged systems that have closed caucuses that don't have voters. I mean, the profiles are now starting to show of the appeal of the two candidates.
Okay, so it's not over yet, but you see what he's doing. He's selling it right now.
Right.
It's a rigged system.
And if you just look at the states that Cruz won, the states that Trump won, what do you see? With Cruz, he wins the reddest of red states where you have voterless primaries, where the rules favor organization versus appeal to the voters. Trump wins in states that we have to win the presidency, have appeal to independents and Republicans.
You and Mr. Trump keep talking about the rigged system, but so far Donald Trump has won about 37% of the vote, and he's gotten 48% of the delegates. You could argue that the system's rigged in his favor.
No. When I say rigged system, I'm talking about closed system that keeps the voters from participating. Because what this election has shown is that when voters participate, Donald Trump wins.
Interesting. Very well spoken.
Wow.
Very well spoken.
Now, this guy was involved with Reagan back in the day too. So this guy's been around.
He has a New York accent.
Right. He has been around this environment his entire life. Don't tell me he doesn't know the game.
I'm actually surprised because Donald Trump's the genius here. I'm actually surprised that he wouldn't have pushed back against Donald on this. Like, no, you got to send people to Colorado. Are you nuts? Are you nuts?
He may have suggested it.
I don't know, because there was never anybody in Colorado on behalf of Trump.
No.
Never.
And he just told you Wyoming, nobody there either.
Right. He said, we're not going to play there.
It looks off, and it was the same situation. It was a
so
caucus.
By the way,
it was not.
Well, here's the thing. The thing with Colorado last Saturday, has caused so much outrage with obviously Trump supporters, but also Cruz supporters. Maybe not a majority of them, but a chunk of Cruz supporters are like, whoa, we did not sign up for this.
Right.
This is supposed to be a democratic process. And also with independent Republican voters are upset. And then, check this out. A family member I know, who I'm sure I know them because they're my family member, is not a Republican voter that I know of. She's outraged. And I think that she probably speaks on behalf of a lot of Democrats who may be interested in possibly voting for Trump, especially over Clinton. Lots of Democrats cross over if Clinton runs. Lots of them. Because they're so hell no on Hillary because she's a criminal and she does. Justice cannot be served until she's in prison.
Oh, no.
And they know that. And when they hear what happened to Trump in Colorado, and then this week it'll be Wyoming, it wasn't just 1 week of hockey stick now. They doubled down with Wyoming. They don't even see what's going on. I cannot believe, and I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't get it at first. There was a guy on Twitter, big-time Trump supporter, who said, Trump's numbers are going through the roof. One thing changed. What was it? And this was like Monday. And I'm like, tell me. What was the change? It was the Colorado thing. And now they're doing it with Wyoming.
Well, and it's not that they're not. It's not that they didn't. If they gave a try, they could win Wyoming, or if they got in it in Colorado, they had a chance to win it. These are places where there's not a snowball's chance in hell that Trump could have pulled those states out. It just couldn't have happened.
But he could have got a couple of delegates. But
if you do that, then we're back to the same
big loser.
Right.
So they're sacrificing. Okay, so there's 14 delegates in Wyoming. So you're saying maybe Trump picks up. He could have gotten even as many as 5. So it could have been 9-5. Cruz wins Wyoming.
In Wyoming?
Yeah, let's just say
Cruz got 34 total. 1 went to Rubio.
Wait, I thought that Wyoming was 14. You're thinking of Colorado.
Oh,
Colorado was
14
30.
out of 14. However, Cruz won 66%, which is 644 or 644 votes. Trump got 1 with 7%, and there were 70 delegates.
What are you talking about? I don't know.
These are some of these stats from Wyoming.
Wyoming only has 14 delegates.
There was Rubio was in it too.
I have no idea. I read an article that said Wyoming has 14 delegates. All of them swept for Cruz. He swept Wyoming.
Okay.
Unless they were wrong in the article. So anyway, Yeah, here we go. Ted Cruz wins Wyoming Republican presidential nominating contest. They don't even call it.
It's not even, yeah.
Contest. Republican U.S. presidential hopeful Ted Cruz won all 14 delegates at stake on Saturday in Wyoming, besting rival Donald Trump, who made little effort to win the rural state and further narrowing the gap in the race for the party's nomination. Cruz is trying to prevent Trump from attaining 1,237 delegates needed to secure the Republican nomination at the July convention in Cleveland. By continuing to rack up small wins, Cruz is gaining ground on the New York real estate mogul, who has thus far failed to shift his focus on the local level campaigning necessary to win delegates. This author is so lost. Trump has absolutely won, hands down. Because here's the thing. It was going to be tough. It was going to be tough for Trump to get a sweep in New York State because you have to meet certain criteria. Not only
51 or 52%.
You have to have 50% plus one
Yeah.
of the total plus 50% of each precinct. Or else,
Wow.
yeah, that's the only way to get a sweep.
Wow.
Here's the thing. This is going to make it. This is the best thing that could have happened to Trump, to get the sweep in New York. This Cruz picking up these 14 delegates in Wyoming has probably cost him so many delegates in New York. He will have lost more than 14 delegates in New York over this.
Boston Emerson College did a poll. Trump hit 65% in New York. Ted Cruz, 12.
He's behind Kasich.
Kasich? No. This is a new poll.
Oh, new poll. Okay.
Kasich, 1.
Did you see the Pennsylvania poll?
No, I didn't.
1? Did you say 1?
They said Kasich, 1.
Oh my God! I think people see the writing on the wall with Kasich. It's just he's just
still
a thorn in everybody's side.
He's still coming out saying that I'm playing the rules of the game, and I'll get this at the convention. He's still
People are like
saying
rolling their collective eyes.
And before I got those numbers, before I got those crossed over with, it was my show prep notes were crossed over with Colorado and Wyoming.
Colorado has 34. When you
Right.
started saying 77, I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about anymore.
77.
You said something like 77. I'm
No,
like,
66%.
oh, okay.
Of the delegates of 23.
Okay. So, Trump has been critical of the process again on Saturday, calling it, quote, rigged. While speaking at a rally in Syracuse, New York, he has repeatedly complained and cried like a little baby. There's a new one called, they're calling him #crybaby. Let me tell you something. He is obliterating you guys. He is obliterating. He is going to win so many delegates on the East Coast now, or I should say on this next primary, because of the handful of delegates that were picked up in these no vote states.
#crybaby I don't think it's going to work very well.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They awarded all 34 delegates to Cruz despite in Colorado, despite not holding a popular vote. Despite.
Wow.
Did they
Wow, they just said that. Wow.
He has repeatedly complained about Colorado, which awarded all 34 delegates to Cruz despite not holding a popular vote.
Wow.
What? So they're saying that that Trump's only chance of picking up delegates was to not have a vote? But even though they didn't have a vote, he still didn't.
Despite it. That is a weird way to say that.
That's like saying that Trump's best chance to pick up delegates there was to not have a vote. But they didn't have a vote. And despite that, he still didn't get any delegates. Okay. I'll tell you what. Colorado's... Or I shouldn't say Colorado. This author is out of his mind. It's Yahoo. Yahoo is just all for Hillary anyway. So anyway.
There was I was looking at this hashtag. I remember. Oh, there it is. Hillary supporters, speaking of hashtags and hashtags backfiring, like the crybaby, I don't think that's going to work.
Nah, it's not going to work.
Okay. Hillary's supporters. Huge hashtag that went viral. It said hashtag Hillary so qualified.